Here's your wrestling news for January 31st, 2023, and we're starting off today with Cody Rhodes, who is building momentum on the road to WrestleMania. After winning the Men's Royal Rumble, Cody was on this week's Raw, where the challenger for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship collided with the very first Universal Champion, Finn Balor. In Cody's first Raw match since May 23rd of last year, Balor wasted no time in targeting the surgically repaired shoulder of Rhodes. At one point on the outside of the ring, the Judgment Day surrounded Rhodes, but Beth Phoenix and Edge made their way through the crowd to even the odds. Amidst the chaos, it was Cody who got the win over Balor in a match we imagine Roman Reigns was watching closely. It was during Raw that Cody also confirmed that he plans to challenge Reigns at WrestleMania 39, and while this announcement was a mere formality, fans were thrilled to see it happen. On Twitter, fans expressed their excitement for the upcoming match and the promos Reigns, Rhodes, and Paul Heyman will have in the coming weeks. Even with weeks before WrestleMania, one fan called the match a huge moment in WWE history, while another noted the significance of having two of wrestling's royal families, the Rhodes and the Anoa'i wrestling dynasty, headline the biggest show of the year. 7 years after leaving the undesirable Stardust character behind, Rhodes is indeed undeniable, but he will be in for the fight of his life at WrestleMania 39. Rhodes' victory over Balor was a serious affair for the former three-time AEW TNT champion, but Cody left the audience in splits with his hilarious antics after the show. It took 3 back-to-back crossroads for Cody to topple the Judgment Day member, and Raw wrapped up with him celebrating his big win. After Raw went off the air, Cody donned a banana hat and posed in the middle of the ring in an effort to send the fans home happy. Several fans took photos of Banana Rhodes and shared it on social media, and the crowd were certainly pleased to see Cody having some fun on his first Raw back from injury. It was after his WrestleMania 38 return that Cody made his intentions clear that he plans on becoming WWE Champion and won't let anything stop him. After getting mixed at best responses in AEW, Cody is one of the biggest babyfaces in WWE today and just needs to keep that momentum going. Rhodes may have had a laugh after Raw, but Roman Reigns is planning on ruining Cody's epic return this April in what is already looking like a Match of the Year candidate. What do you think of Cody's return to Raw and his post-match celebration? Sound off in the comments. Now that Cody Rhodes is back, what's next for the American Nightmare? Well, we know that Rhodes is going to the main event of WrestleMania 39, and fans will be seeing a lot of him along the way. PW Insider reports that Cody is going to be a permanent fixture on Raw moving forward, and that he is going to be given plenty of time to build towards his much-anticipated WrestleMania match. As we saw last night, Cody was given plenty of time to speak about his future and earned a "You deserve it" chant from the crowd. Cody Rhodes has been pushed well since his return to WWE at WrestleMania 38, and as long as he can keep injury-free, nothing is going to derail the American Nightmare's momentum en route to the biggest match of his life. More from the Royal Rumble as fans watched intently at the final segment of the show, which many are calling one of the greatest endings in WWE event history. When Sami Zayn refused to take orders from Roman Reigns, instead striking the tribal chief with a steel chair, the crowd in the Alamo Dome erupted, and it wasn't just the fans who were invested. Fightful Select is reporting that the angle with Zayn, Kevin Owens, and the Bloodline was a curtain sellout, with wrestlers and staff gathered around the monitors backstage to see what was happening. This segment has also amassed massive viewership numbers on social media, proving just how popular this angle has become. There are some concerns, however, that Zayn may be too over for WWE's own good, and that his popularity could cause fans to turn on Reigns' opponent for WrestleMania 39, Cody Rhodes. Whether you think Zayn should be facing Roman at Mania or not, Sami's popularity is undeniable, and this angle has proven to be a hit with the fans and the WWE roster. The Royal Rumble didn't just end with Sami Zayn's ejection from the Bloodline, but it appears that Jey Uso is out of the group as well. Right now, Roman Reigns' dominant faction is seemingly crumbling, and fans will have noticed that Reigns said something to Solo Sikoa at the end of the Royal Rumble. Fans may not have heard what he said on the live broadcast, but when one fan rewatched the show, they heard Reigns tell his cousin, "We're at war now, Solo. We take no prisoners now." Today marks day 844 of Roman Reigns' incredible run as Universal Champion, and if fans think they've seen the darkest side of the Tribal Chief already, things may be getting a whole lot more vicious now that the Bloodline is at war. The storyline with Sami Zayn and the Bloodline has been arguably the most popular story in wrestling over the past year, with everyone playing their roles to perfection. Zayn's time with the Bloodline has come to an end as he defied Roman Reigns in the closing moments of the show, a turn that fans had been waiting to see for months. Speaking to Ariel Helwani, the former honorary Uso addressed his storyline with Reigns and the Bloodline, which wouldn't have been the epic story we've seen if not for Triple H. He explained, "I can't say because I genuinely do not know, but I know before Triple H was on creative, I never got on screen with Roman. Then when Triple H did get on creative, I finally got on screen with Roman. Whether that's a coincidence, because like I said, the first time I finally did get on screen with Roman, which took the story to the next level, happened to be a lot of stars lining up. The Usos weren't there, Heyman wasn't there, it was in Montreal, all these things. Would that have happened if Hunter wasn't in charge? I don't know. All I know is I can definitely point to the time he wasn't in charge and say I was kept away from being on screen with Roman. Then once he was in charge, all of a sudden I'm on screen and it's allowed to breathe and see where it goes. Because if I do get on screen with Roman and we start doing stuff with the Usos and all that and it's not really working, then okay, you go somewhere else. But because it got started to work, it got room to breathe. As it breathed, it grew. Whether that would have happened without him, I don't know, but probably not." Sami's feud with the Bloodline has been the hottest storyline in all of wrestling for months and is only going to get more interesting from here, as fans captivated by what they saw at the Royal Rumble have Triple H to thank. One name who didn't compete in the Royal Rumble is Kenny Dykstra, as these days the former Spirit Squad member is now a backstage producer for WWE. It's been years since Dykstra has competed in the ring for WWE, but despite not competing last weekend, he still left San Antonio worse for wear. PW Insider has learned that Dykstra suffered a leg injury during his brief time on camera, as he was one of many who tried to break up the brawl between Edge and the Judgment Day. That brawl happened after Edge eliminated Finn Balor and Damian Priest, who then returned to the ring and eliminated the Rated R superstar. One source in WWE feared that Dykstra has suffered a torn calf, and it was also noted that he was scheduled for an MRI as soon as possible after the injury. Dykstra, who now goes by his real name Ken Doane, was among those who ran to break the melee up, and while it isn't clear how the injury happened, it did indeed happen at some point during the brawl. Hopefully Dykstra isn't too hurt, as the former World Tag Team Champion has been praised for his backstage work since returning to WWE in 2021, and we're wishing him a speedy recovery from this injury. As seen on Raw, Rhea Ripley wasted no time in choosing her WrestleMania 39 opponent and will challenge Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship this April. Ripley's match will be a rematch of the pair's battle at WrestleMania 36, and it was at that infamous, crowdless event that Charlotte Flair dethroned Ripley to become the new NXT Women's Champion. So why did the Eradicator pick Charlotte over Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair? Well, on Raw, Ripley said that she's never forgotten her loss to Charlotte in 2020, and said that she is ready to disrupt the natural order of things by getting payback this year. That may be the reason fans heard on TV, but the real reason for this match is much different. According to sources within WWE, the real reason is that the company wants to establish Ripley as a major heel champion, one who can be a headliner in the women's division for years to come. The belief is that the only way Ripley can reach this spot is by dethroning Charlotte, who is no stranger to being a heel herself. WWE wants an established star to fall to Ripley to show just how destructive the Judgment Day member can be, and there's no star more established or decorated than the Queen of all eras. Ripley has been a major player on WWE TV since coming to Raw in 2021, and if things go as planned, it's only a matter of time before the Australian takes her spot as the new SmackDown Women's Champion. So Ripley vs. Flair is confirmed for WrestleMania, and WWE has made it official with a match graphic. The image shows Ripley and Flair on a gold WrestleMania-themed background, but many have questioned this particular graphic. On Twitter, fans criticized the image of Flair WWE is used, saying the image is too photoshopped and that Charlotte deserves a new graphic. Some fans even joked that Charlotte was unrecognizable and said they had no idea who Ripley will be challenging at WrestleMania. Bad image or not, Flair vs. Ripley is the goal for WrestleMania 39, and the Judgment Day member isn't looking for a repeat of the last time they faced off. Ripley's victory last Saturday was in the 6th Women's Royal Rumble match, and the first time somebody has won from the number 1 position in the Women's Rumble. The match saw names like Michelle McCool and Nia Jax make surprise appearances in the match, but WWE found it necessary to have backups just in case. PW Insider reports that Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree were backstage at last weekend's Rumble and were ready to serve as alternates in case they were needed. Had a wrestler suffered a serious injury before the match began, either Niall or Dupree would have subbed in, but thankfully everyone scheduled for the Women's Rumble made it to the match. Niall and Dupree have yet to compete in a Women's Rumble match, and this year wasn't their year either, but it's good that WWE didn't want to take any chances with this all-important bout. Now, Seth Rollins is never afraid to speak his mind, and recently, the former Universal Champion made his views crystal clear about CM Punk. Calling Punk a cancer, Rollins told the controversial former AEW World Champion to stay away from WWE. But this sentiment doesn't apply to everyone in Tony Khan's company. Speaking with Wrestling Inc.'s Nick Hausman at the Royal Rumble press junket this past weekend, Rollins was asked about FTR and the possibility that they could be WWE bound when their AEW deals expire. "Great talents, hell of a tag team, good guys," Rollins said. "Always had a good relationship with them. I'd love to see them come back if they want to come back and hang out with us." FTR, aka The Revival, didn't leave WWE on the best of terms in 2020, but with Triple H now part of creative, many feel that the duo will do better on the main roster under his leadership. Right now, the former Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, AAA, Ring of Honor, and IWGP Tag Team Champions are on hiatus from AEW, and their deals with the company will expire in April, so Rollins could indeed be getting his wish later this year. Back to Raw's last night's show saw an appearance by Asuka, who carried on her new character fans saw at the Royal Rumble. During Raw, the returning Carmella was being interviewed backstage, only to be confronted by Asuka, displaying another creepy look that grossed out the Staten Island princess. Asuka, who has a new theme for her new persona, has already qualified for the upcoming Women's Elimination Chamber match, as she, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez, and Liv Morgan earned spots by being the final four eliminated in the Women's Rumble match. Next week, Carmella will look to join them by winning her qualifier match against Piper Niven, and while the winner of the Chamber match will face Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, Carmella will want to keep clear of the demented Asuka. More from Raw, and as we said, Edge and Beth Phoenix appeared on last night's show, once again crossing paths with the Judgment Day. It may have been an odd call for WWE's top babyface Cody Rhodes to need the help of outside interference, but it's clear that WWE is setting up for a match featuring the Grit couple. Beth hasn't wrestled since the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble, but she is expected to return soon, and expect a mixed tag match for next month's Elimination Chamber event. Raw also saw the continuation of the Bayley vs. Becky Lynch feud, which one could argue started years ago in Orlando during their time in NXT. It is therefore fitting that this feud will end next week in Orlando, when Bayley and Lynch face off in the cage match we didn't get at Raw's 30. While Bayley initially refused the match, the role model was convinced when Lynch brought out the injured Dakota Kai and threatened to attack her leg until she got the match. Lynch even subtly indicated that she attacked Io Sky backstage in a moment of brilliance that hinted at the end of their feud. Raw was a mixed bag for Seth Rollins, who earned another shot at the US title, but that match will take place inside the Elimination Chamber. Rollins was very pleased with himself and his chances, but when Kathy Kelly brought up Logan Paul, Rollins' mood immediately changed. It was Paul who eliminated Rollins in the Men's Rumble match, and this was a clear tease for a WrestleMania 39 match, and given the skills of both men, expect a highly entertaining build to a highly entertaining match. Each week, Kevin Patrick can be heard providing play-by-play on Raw, but recently the Irish announcer has picked up another role. In a press release from Major League Soccer, it was confirmed that Patrick will be part of 31 individuals added to the broadcast team for the upcoming season. With the season beginning on February 25th, it'll be interesting to see how Patrick handles both his duties, as the Irish commentator is in high demand. And we're ending with the Royal Rumble, as Hardy made an appearance for WWE, but it wasn't either Jeff or Matt who showed up at the Alamo Dome. Instead, it was just Hardy, the musician, who performed for the 51,000 plus in San Antonio, but it's doubtful WWE will use him again. According to a report from Fightful, Hardy's performance was scoffed at by those in the promotion, and it wasn't a hit with the fans either. Appearing after the Women's Rumble match and before the much-anticipated Kevin Owens vs. Roman Reigns main event, fans were tired and in no mood to see someone the majority didn't know do a song they didn't care about. It's telling that WWE did not put Hardy's performance on their YouTube channel, likely because they're aware of the subdued reaction he got after his performance was finished. Hardy has his fans, and we're certain that some of them were watching the Royal Rumble event, but this performance and the response by fans was hardly a ringing endorsement for the musician.